Hi, I'm Father Matthew from St Francis's in Port Glasgow. The 10th station of the cross is Jesus is stripped of his garments. We remember this is one of the last indignities that was committed on Jesus by his tormentors just before he was crucified. And it reminds us of him putting off his divine state to embrace our human nature. I think there's also another meaning that we could take from it to help us understand what is really going on. Each of the four Gospels describes how Jesus, during his torture, was dressed up as a mock king. Now, that's a way of his torturers and detractors to make fun of him. But ironically, it reveals who he really is. Just as Pilate's sign that hangs above the cross, without intending to, actually tells the truth, because Jesus is the King, the universal King, as well as the King of the Jews. Only St. John's Gospel tells us something more. I'll read a short passage which comes just after the description of Jesus' crucifixion. When the soldiers had finished crucifying Jesus, they took his clothing and divided it into 4 shares, one for each soldier. His undergarment was seamless, woven in one piece from neck to hem. So they said to one another, "Instead of tearing it, let us throw dice to decide who is to have it." In this way the words of Scripture were fulfilled. They shared out my clothing among them. They cast lots for my clothes. This is exactly what the soldiers did. Lots of people have pointed out that that seamless garment is very reminiscent of what the high priest would wear in the Old Testament. That's described in the book of Exodus and the book of Leviticus, where the high priests, Aaron and his successors, are told what they've to wear when they offer sacrifice to God. Mysteriously, Aaron, the first high priest, is divested of his priestly garments just before he goes up a hill to die. Now we learn from the New Testament, specifically from the book of the letter to the Hebrews, that Jesus is the one true and eternal high priest. And here we have him being stripped of this priestly garment to die on top of a hill. St. John is telling us something very important, but very subtle, that in this moment, Jesus remains the priest of his own sacrifice. He offers himself. That's a very important thing to remember in these last days as we prepare to celebrate Easter. That Jesus gives us himself in these moments. He is the one who is killed for us, but he's also our eternal high priest. God bless you.